Brother Light opens his own capsule, grabs one of the feathers, and digs it into the metal parts of her own ship and tears off the front of it.
Perpetuity, no, don't let him get in.
And he grabs Rose and pulls her towards him. I made a promise to be at this woman's bedside, and if I have to take you to your own grave to be there, I will do it. And he pulls her out of her own mech, and him and the Guardian and Rose all plummet back to the ground as the Guardian shoots a bunch of her feathers, crisscrossing thousands of them into Perpetuity, and it just explodes, sending a shockwave as they all fall.
I don't suppose you're planning on stopping.
No. My name is Kilson, and that is exactly what I'm going to do.
Flying across the battlefield is the Morning Glory. These shots are missing Judge, but we see one just explode, sending a group of foot soldiers back. And one of the foot soldiers that was in that group that was not blown back, but is now left alone on the front line, is Amity.
Kilson changes their approach. They're not gonna keep dodging, because that's just gonna put more people in danger. One particular in danger. Judge leaps forward with their staff, and the sapphire eye at the head of it is building up energy in the eye so that the moment they collide, it's gonna release it.
The sapphire head just explodes outwards. We see the remaining arm on the Morning Glory reach up. We get this camera shot of inside, God's voice trembling is bleeding, staring at their monitor. All they can see is, from their perspective, their hand reaching up towards the one who judges with mercy. The staff glints with the blue light. The screen goes entirely blue. We get a shot of these smaller mechs, and we see a flock of these things flying with alarming speed directly towards the radio tower.
I think this, at the idea of losing the man who raised her, who has been her father, I think she would use her manuscript, The Hounds Would Strike Fear. Pieces of the Huntress come off and form these two metallic hounds.
They tear off across this burned field and this battlefield, weaving between the buildings and the people. The flock begins to spiral as they're not quite sure what to do, and these two dogs just hunt down these carrion mechs and destroy them entirely. The glowing part of your mech, the manuscript that has been carved onto it, is glowing. The light fades and it's been burned and charred into your armor. And then the hounds deactivate and go back to being just two armor plates that hit the ground.
So we actually found out something. We were reading through some stuff, and Riley remembered that we actually get 2 Righteous Fury when you fail in a Fail of the Heart. So you were at 4, so you're now at 8.
Oh, nice.
And I am now also at 8 because I have been...
I'm still at 1.
And I am not ready because...
Nice. Well, now I'm ready for the... I feel much better about the end one. Did you... Okay. Really, though, the fact that we have to succeed 10 times and not fail 3 times.
Okay, so we do still get Righteous Fury in this last one.
Yeah.
So that means if we fail, we get more, which can boost...
Yeah. So...
But we don't get Holy Wrath.
We still have to get a 6 to pass this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oof.
But every time you fail, you get 2 more Righteous Fury.
Ooh. Guys, I might be getting us a lot of the fails.
Just try and spend Righteous Fury.
I can't!
Yeah, just
I
go
I know,
ham.
but I can! Both of you just say I wouldn't.
We have to get 1 automatic fail so that I can get more Righteous Fury.
Well, that'll kind of happen probably on your first roll.
Yep.
I know.
Because you're probably, unless you roll an exact 6, you're gonna fail.
I know.
I swear, if I roll
So
a 6.
we're at the very end. We're at the conclusion scene.
Oh boy.
Yes, let's do this.
A month passes. I've already spoken about how word about this has spread and how your actions have inflamed debate. So much so that Almeria Equinox is even, like, giving sermons and speeches that are being sent out to other planets in the Celestial Federation, inspiring other people to rise up. And you are holding your own. You're doing well. All of their attempts, all of the things that they have tried, everything they've tried to take away from you, it has all been not useless, because you have been hurt, you have suffered losses, but it just hasn't been enough to, like, stamp you out. And so finally, as the sun is rising, at the dawn of one of the most sacred festivals in the Celestial Federation, the celebration of the inner light of all of humanity and the sanctification of the stars that shine down on everyone, a message is beamed out from His Radiance himself. We see several flares go off, and it forms a constellation in the sky. Out of these myriad small false stars that build a larger than life form of the Pontifex, seated on his throne, and this constellation begins to speak. Traitorous worms of the Halfast farming colony. Every day your sins grow by the dozen. Every day your darkness threatens to swallow and snuff out the light of our people. And every day your venomous message dims the light of the innocent and the obedient to our most shining of causes. No more. This is your final warning. We strike with unbridled fury and unbridled wrath with the dawn. Make your final prayers, however heathen or pagan they may be. We have no place for you in our light. And the star, like the constellation dims and the stars fall away to reveal a massive fleet of ships coming in to the atmosphere of Ghana.
He calls us a worm? Even a worm will turn.
It wasn't good. It was bad, actually. Let me rate that on a scale of what you say. Oh no, it fell off the scale. It can't be rated. It was too bad.
I was holding my breath. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, Riley's talking about my pun.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
Unfortunately, Kilson is struck down immediately.
Kilson is just smited by the heavens above.
The giant Pontifex constellation just, like, karate chops you. There is no room for puns in the light of our grace.
You're gonna make me snort my tea out of my nose.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Okay.
good. That helped loosen some of the anxiety that's just curled up in my chest.
We've got this. 10
Oh,
successes. We can do it.
Let's go.
The light of the rising sun illuminates the bottom of all these ships. And on the bottom of all of these ships, perched like bats, are these black mechs, thin, spindly, with limbs that are far too long, they're made out of this like deep black, almost reflective like chrome, and they have these elongated heads that come to a single glowing red eye.
There's no need to bring the crooked men into this.
What are you doing in this game, Crooked
This
Men?
is an army of Morgan mechs
Oh no.
bought from Eurasia at
Oh,
a very
no.
reasonable price.
Wow, rude.
They specialize in assassination.
Mm.
And they all just let go at the same time to reveal that their feet are also hands.
Ah!
And their hands are these like long spidery claws with like these like razor thin delicate fingers that like stretch out. And they all drop together, and it's like this black blanket of metal is dropped onto the planet. And this is the first wave.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh,
So
no.
we've started the final scene of Blessed Engines, which is the conclusion scene.
Oh
The conclusion
boy.
scene is a variation on the regular heart scene in which the players seek to drive off the entire invading force. Instead of choosing an affair of the heart, the GM sets the stage by describing a final gambit by the Templar forces to raise the colony in their monastery. The party as a whole must achieve a number of successes equal to 3 times the number of players plus 1, so in this case you have to get 10 successes to drive off the invaders. If you fail a number of times equal to the amount of players, which is 3, the colony and monastery are destroyed. Players gain righteous fury, but do not gain holy wrath during the conclusion scene. Okay. Who would like to go first to deal with the Morgan mechs?
Are we not going in the same
Jamie.
order?
Anyone can act at any time.
I guess I have been nominated.
Jamie, let's get that failure out of the way.
But everyone has to go once before someone can go again, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, let's...
I think we could just go. Well, no, I guess it could be.
Yeah,
It
I'm
could
gonna
be
let...
whoever.
Yeah.
But let's go with Jamie since you got...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta fail anyway. Unless I get a 6.
Let's get that one fail out of the way unless you get a 6.
Unless
Yeah.
I get a 6. Please, God, please a 6. Please. That's a 1.
Cool!
Hey, you get 2 righteous fury.
You get 2 Righteous Fury now!
I'm at 3.
You got somehow. This is
One
the worst
third-
way to
whoa.
regain health.
Yep.
We're 1/3 dead!
Brother Light sits to the side drinking tea.
No.
Just throw the guardian at them.
We're at 1 failure out of 3 already.
I know!
It's bad, y'all. We see these Morgan mechs just dropping, and right before they hit the ground, their bodies twist before their heads do, and their hands on both their arms and feet splay out, and they just float silently in the air, and then their head slowly rotates to match with the body.
Riley, stop giving nightmare fuel. What the hell?
Some mechs are floating in the air and they open up their hands and just start firing off laser beams, similar to the Morning Glory's tail, of just these thin but continuous beams that they just kind of trace across the countryside. Some are like flying over buildings, and their thighs, which are like weirdly kind of bulbous, open up to reveal that they're holding just rows of bombs, which they start to just drop out, which start hitting, and they start carpet bombing the farming colony.
In this case, thick thighs don't save lives.
No, thick thighs end lives.
Oh, that's also true.
It's true, yes. We see shots of some of the Morgan mechs just like landing next to buildings silently and just using their razor sharp fingers to just slash open a roof. And it seems like a blanket of these things have been dropped. There's too many of them to count. We see everyone doing their absolute best to fight back against this horde of mechs, but they're not doing well enough. No one has died, but it's looking dire. Okay, would someone like to step up and try and take care of this situation?
I think if they're landing by buildings, I'm gonna have Huntress start shooting. So, let's go and try not to die.
I appreciate you trying not to die.
Damn it!
Can I spend one righteous fury to help?
Yes, you absolutely may.
Okay.
Thank God. Okay, so we
Try
get
again.
2 days.
Because if you weren't, I was going to.
Yeah. Jamie, you don't need to be sending righteous fury. I'm just like thinking of the difference between spending righteous fury on yourself, which is 2, versus giving it to someone else, which is 1. I think that's the best strategy here.
It's a game of helping each other.
Which is good because we have
Isn't that
been.
sweet and fun and good?
One of them's a 5, so I can boost that up.
That's good.
Yeah, do you want to sacrifice one of your
Do it.
righteous fury to succeed?
I'm boosting that up. I am out now at 7 again because
You got this.
that's a 1.
Give us describe a scene of Beloved and the Huntress of the Wicked triumphing over the Morgan mechs.
I think that as they are starting to fall in silently, she started. Beloved has started to kind of notice, like, they are really silent, but it's like a silence before, and it's kind of like everything around them settles because, like, there's fighting, but then there's a silence before, like, they strike. So as she hears more silence around her, she starts shooting at them. She literally is just using her sense of hearing to focus on where is the silence closest to right now to her.
Fantastic.
That she can start shooting.
Also, Almeria takes to the fight inside her disciple, which is it was formerly the Merry Median.
Ooh.
But now it's the Merry Median again, as it takes up its sword, and it decides that the greatest form of penance is bringing salvation to others. And so it also strikes out, and we see the shot of the Merry Median, now taking up into the air for the first time in this fight, holding its sword in one hand. It lifts up its hand in the other, and it shoots out like this gold dust that as it lands on the Morgans, it starts to corrode away at them.
Yo!
And they dissolve, turning into more of this gold dust that then hits the ground. And where the gold dust hits the ground, grass and flowers begin to sprout out.
That's a death! 1 success!
1 success out of 10. We got this.
Yes.
Okay.
A bestial roar echoes across the horizon.
Oh no.
And you see the ships overhead shifting to allow something that was in higher orbit to come down.
Oh god.
This is another ship they bought from Eurasia. It is a Mordred model aircraft carrier, which is a massive mechanical dragon capable of holding several ships, an army of mechs, and countless infantrymen.
Stop cheating.
Why did I know you were going to have a shit ton of dragons? Why did I know you were going to make that one a dragon?
You're holy knights. You have to slay one dragon.
Under the conclusion scene, it does tell the DM to play dirty.
Yep.
It's like a mix between a Western and an Eastern style dragon, of where it in D&D terms it'd be called a drake, where it has a Western style dragon head the long neck, a big burly body, 4 legs, and then a tail. It does not have wings, and so that's what makes it almost like serpentine-like with the arms, which makes it look almost Eastern style.
Does it
But
still
in other,
fly?
it is still flying.
Okay.
Its entire body is an aircraft carrier, so it is covered in countless like thruster jets, various different hover technology. Yeah, it's this massive like sliding piece of like black metal, and it has these blazing red eyes, and it opens up its mouth and it gives out this like mechanical roar that like seems to shake the sky as it starts coming down.
Oh no. Is anyone else gonna go, or am I gonna go in?
No, I think Kilson could probably try and take a bit of this.
Kilson can probably take it. Let's go.
You can
It's
do it.
not
It's
like they're
fine.
the most frail.
I'm also going to spend one.
I will point out Kilson has 2 Holy Wrath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. I'm going to keep that because you have 2 of those.
I mean, would it be better to save those for when I completely fail,
I
or
don't know. This is a big thing.
No,
Yeah.
I would say roll first, and if you
Yeah,
fail,
let's
yeah,
roll
roll
and then,
first.
and then decide.
Mhm.
let's just all right. Kilson's gonna. They're gonna take. Well, I guess not Kilson. Judge is going to take her staff, and she's going to how do I want to do this? She's going to do like a sweeping laser as much as she
Ooh.
can.
You're doing what Morning Glory was doing before, of where you have this laser that like you're basically drawing across the dragon's body with.
Almost, but it's
Yeah.
think of it more as a fan. Instead of a cone this time, it's like a fan that's going to sweep sideways across them.
Cool. I like that.
We getting
Alright.
fancy.
Yeah.
Is
I mean-
Judge like flying up into the air towards the Mordred?
No, she's got a pretty good range.
So would
Okay.
would you still like me to spend one to help? Give you
Let's
a
see
dice?
how my roll goes first, and then
Yeah.
we'll see if I need to spend Righteous Fury, you need to spend Righteous Fury, and if it still fails, I'm doing a Holy Wrath.
Yeah.
I got a 5. It's all right. I'll spend one
Oh,
Righteous Fury,
Okay.
Okay.
and I'm back to 69. Nice.
Nice.
How does the Judge destroy this aircraft carrier?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think because it's like such an armored carrier, her point is not to pierce its armor, but instead by causing a chain reaction on all of the different thrusters across it.
Oh.
That's good.
She's going to send it crashing down.
That's some good anime shit.
Yeah, it's that shot of the space station, and then suddenly there are all these like red circles appearing like in a line across it.
Like they're like, ha, that laser won't penetrate our armor. Oh
Oh.
crap, it's taking everything else.
And then it just like plummets down onto the planet in flames.
We get a shot. Yeah, we get a shot of like inside the command deck. one of the officers is like, "The laser isn't powerful enough to pierce our shields." And then there's like this siren coming on another area of the command deck, and he turns and he's like, "What is it?" And he goes, "We've lost thruster 35, 36, 37." And then another one points out, like, we're losing altitude. And then we just get this shot of the Mordred, its body being traced in these small explosions, like
Ew.
twisting in the air as it's doing its best to remain airborne. But these are mostly built for space warfare. And it's lost a lot of its thrusters. And the gravity of the planet pulls it down, and it just crashes.
The bigger they are,
the harder,
the harder they fall.
You stop that.
I was thinking the bigger they are.
Ugh.
I mean, true, but
I can't remember where that's from, but that's one of my favorite
I don't know
quotes.
what that is, but it sounds like a sex joke.
Stop it. This is a religious game we're playing
But
today.
it's also a mech anime.
have you seen religious art?
You right.
True, fair.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Riley, religious art is pretty horny.
Okay, so next threat.
Anyway, on to the next thing.
These crucifixes start to drop from the sky.
This is the
God.
speed dating of mechs.
Yes. It says it's supposed to be rapid fire moments, and these crucifixes are like being dropped into the atmosphere. They are not like the Christian crucifix per se, but they are a 4-pointed star made out of gold, and the front point of the star has like this weird mech body that is built into it, attached to it. The star is also part of a mech, but it does look like a robotic body has been crucified onto this star.
I don't like this.
And they are flying overhead like fighter jets, and these eyes of these like faces that have been designed to look like they are in like this moment of like heavenly rapture. These eyes, they're like solid gold. These eyes are glowing blue and then start to fire out these laser beams out of the eyes that are like not the way we've been describing lasers so far have been very like light focused. These are more like plasma, so it looks like they're crying onto the ground and the tears are like destroying stuff and starting fires.
Oh. Don't like.
Is it my turn?
Everyone has gone once, so it can be anyone's turn but Kilsin.
I rolled with 6, so let's go.
Hell yeah.
God! Hell yeah!
Let's
We
do
don't
this.
even gotta lose one. We don't even get to lose anything. Hell yeah!
We got this.
Okay, how's Brother
We're
Light
just
gonna
so-
do this?
Oh, these, by the way, are called stigmata satellites.
Okay, I have 2 ideas of how I can do this.
Now,
You got wings.
I do got wings. I'm just trying to visualize how to describe this. Ooh, okay. So, Brother Light rushes forward in the Guardian of Serenity, and a bunch of the chains from the lower pair of wings just shoot forward and wrap around one of them, and it swings it around into a row of the others, and it just starts using it as like a battle axe on a chain, and it's just smashing all of these other crucifixes out of the sky, swinging it around, and it's so graceful but so horrifying.
Hell yeah!
okay. Dang.
How many?
That's-
That's 3 out of
That's
10.
3 successes. You're almost there.
Hell yeah!
All right. One of the ships dips out of formation.
Oh no.
And as it is flying towards the farming colony, the ship like splits in half, and its front opens up to reveal just a wall of cannons
Ooh.
that all begin to glow with like this fiery heat as they begin to power up.
Mm.
This is, I think we mentioned that our justice assured in the first episode. I believe that was the name of the ship that we mentioned. Either way, this is the justice assured.
Okay. I has an idea
You has an idea?
for Huntress. Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm a Huntress. I'm gonna roll to see. That's a 3.
Well, maybe I should spend one and.
That would be great.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. That's a 5, so I can spend
Nice.
1. Thank you. Okay, so, and I'm at 69 now.
Yee.
Yeah.
So, I'm imagining, so there are all these,
cannons on the front, yeah.
crushed, so there's these cannons on the front, but there are all these destroyed pieces of mechs that have fallen around.
Mhm.
And what Huntress is going to do is that she is going to throw them at the cannons so that when they do light up, they explode because they're blocked. They're like shoved in there.
And just the front just detonates,
Yeah. Yep.
taking the entire ship with it. Yeah.
That is what came to mind, is that she just shoved them in there and just
Fantastic.
4 out of 10.
Cool.
We're almost halfway.
I know.
As the ship explodes, something leaps off of it.
Oh shit.
It is a large mechanical horse,
Oh no.
and astride it
Oh no.
is a mech.
No.
A mech riding a mech.
It's a mech riding a mech horse, yes. It's unclear. It is unclear if it is one mech designed to look like a knight on a noble steed, or if it is, in fact, two separate mechs at the moment.
We'll find out
But,
soon.
as there's this massive explosion that suddenly comes trailing out of it like this shining comet, and we see this disciple that is in the shape of a knight on a horse. It is covered in so many jewels and like gilding. It is by far like the most ostentatious. And this is Chivalry Never Dies.
I doubt that.
It will soon.
Yeah, and I don't think they're very sure, actually.
Its weapon, I don't want to do a lance because I just did a lance. What is something ridiculously extra?
A
A
whip.
fucking whip.
I'd say a halberd, but that's already a lance.
Jamie and I both said a whip,
It's a
so...
pole arm. No, you know what it is? It just has one giant arm. It just has one big smashing arm. Though I would like to say the horse doesn't start to fly. It starts to gallop when its hooves like go down to where like ground would be for it. It pulses, creating this like blue shockwave, and it is running on these blue shockwaves across the sky as it gallops towards you.
Dope. Kilson, I believe it's your turn.
Yeah, I think it would make sense for me to do something. Giant swinging arm, apparently.
Big old smashing arm.
That's the technical term.
Just a big beefy grabbing arm.
This is like the constellation of Orion, where one arm's super stumpy and the other one just extends above the head. Man, what can
This is a good arm to crack open a cold one with the boys.
It's a Hulk smashing arm.
Which arm is it? Left or right?
Sorry, I'm imagining it on the left side for me in my perspective, but I'm watching this in my head, so that means it's the right side because I'm seeing it on the left. So yeah, that means its right arm is the big high five arm.
Like, yeah.
What'd you get?
I haven't rolled. I just got a bad image in my head. I was gonna say like a college frat boy, but okay.
Yes.
Damn, don't ruin. This was the coolest disciple I designed so far. Then you
gave him a giant arm.
You gave him a jacked arm, Riley.
You couldn't give him a big broadsword that's made of lightning or something.
I already did swords.
Do more swords. Swords are always cool.
Swords are always cool, but I don't want to. I want to do a bunch of different weapons. I don't want to come back to the same ridiculous. I want to come up with more fun.
Also,
enemies.
I'm stalling because I don't know how else for Judge to fight other than point sticky at them.
Point they're cool. Point they're cool sticky.
I mean, what you could do is it's on a horse coming at you. So, jousting.
We already did jousting.
Do jousting again.
Rootin' tooting, point shooting.
With Morning Glory, yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
Big shooty.
Big shooty is honestly like you go in there, you start blasting.
You could always arm wrestle it.
Oh my god, arm wrestling!
Or you could try and stab it with your spear, with your staff like a spear, and then like use the leverage to rip off the big arm.
You could always go for the horse and I don't know if the other mech can fly, so the human mech would just fall off and crash to the ground.
Yeah, sure. But I think what Judge is gonna do is they're gonna set the end of their staff into the ground and kind of brace against it like an anti-aircraft gun, and then point it at
Ooh.
the horse.
Ooh, very good description.
And by doing that, they kind of pivot it on the ground to follow the trajectory of the horse, so that when they fire, they'll
Hell yeah.
Okay.
try and hit it.
So here's the moment where I reveal whether or not they're one big machine or two machines. You shoot the horse explodes. And then it does the exact same thing it did with the ship, of where like the
Feels
ship
familiar.
explodes and then jumping out of the smoke, leaving like this trail in the sky is in on the horse. The horse explodes and then leaping out of the explosion in like this big Hulk jump. It has really short, stubby legs, by the way, for some reason. It's like soaring through the air towards you, and it reels back its big arm into like this punching position, and it's coming straight towards you for a big old punch.
Oh my god! You know what would be so dope? If this might just be taking your whole scene if you do it, but like if it's coming at you, getting ready to do a big old punch, and then your mech just all the strands and all the scrolls just kind of separate into a hole in the middle, and it just goes straight through you and smashes itself into the ground.
That'd be good.
That is funny, but I think what Judge is going to do is she's going to twist around and sweep its legs out from under it.
Ooh.
It's in midair.
I thought it was running on the ground.
No, it can't run because it
All
has
right.
this weird stubby
Well,
legs.
batter up, I suppose.
Oh.
Hey, better.
Have you rolled yet?
No.
I forget. Okay, this is the part where you roll for sure.
Somebody help.
I can help this time.
Okay, let's see. 6.
Hell yeah! You home run this sucker.
Yeah.
Hey, better.
He just like goes like he comes flying at you. You just baseball bat him away. He goes flying away onto the horizon and crashes down.
An explosion, little mushroom cloud.
He's like dragging himself out of the crater with his big arm.
He's still
But
alive.
at that point, you blast him with the laser, and then he explodes. It's like a cool mech. It's not gonna die from fall damage. These things are built to be durable.
Fair.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's like that scene in Captain Marvel where it's like he's in the ditch and she just shoots him.
Yeah,
Guys,
I
we're
love
halfway.
that.
you're halfway.
We're doing it.
Okay.
Okay. Did everyone get a turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
We have
Yes.
one fail and 5 successes.
Okay. All right.
This is gonna be like Jumanji, where the first death is like, okay. Second death, you're like, oh crap, this is real.
Yeah. No negative vibes.
The ground rumbles,
Mm.
and then this big mechanical whale surfaces out of it.
Where are you hiding that?
It looks like a giant whale, like a giant whale mech, but instead of fins, it has like stumpy little legs, and it has 8 stumpy little legs on each side. And instead of a whale tail, it just has this big cannon.
Oh no!
And this is the Leviathan.
Well, yeah.
Of course, that's
Suppose
Full
so.
attack. You want to handle this one? Seems up your alley.
A little light pulses on its head, and
On the
everything
deck?
caught in the
Alright.
pulse just stops working.
Oh Jesus. Okay. Okay.
As it surfaces, it like gives out this like a recording of whale song plays, and as the recording of whale song plays, it releases this EMP charge on its head.
Okay. I'm
Sounds
going
like a
to
huntress.
roll to. Yeah, I'm going to roll to just fucking. The huntress is meant for speed and distance,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
And this
distance
thing
is good.
is so big and slow.
yeah. So we gonna.
It's little. It's 16 little legs just going crazy. It's like,
Let's see what I get before I say.
I'm
It's like
imagining the
anything.
giant beasts from Nazca Valley of the Wind.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those are more like insectile. This is like definitely meant to look.
Yeah,
But yes,
it's kind
Yeah.
of like that though.
But the
Yeah.
legs.
Yeah,
I was thinking
for sure.
Avengers. I was thinking the Avengers alien well. So mix those together.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Avengers. Those things.
Yeah, mix those together, and there you go.
Just Marvin the Martian legs.
Oh god,
Yes. 16 little Marvin the Martian's
that
legs.
was a 4.
All right.
So
Are you gonna spend 2?
I'm gonna do 2.
All right.
So you're down to 4 now.
Yeah. So what I have the Huntress do is that the Huntress rushes over and jumps onto its back and just starts shooting down, like downwards, like pointing the guns and just shooting down in a line down its body.
We get this moment of where the cannon just like goes all the way down and just levels at you and starts to power up. And so we get this shot of like the Huntress being silhouetted by the light of the cannon that is just point blank pointed at her. And then explosions start to ring out throughout the inside of the Leviathan. The Huntress leaps away and the Leviathan just crumples.
Was
Hell yeah!
that thing just on our planet this whole time? I don't like to think about that.
It dig.
We are in a war.
It dig real good.
I
It
don't
dig
like
so
him.
good, you guys. Don't even worry about
I
it.
don't like him.
Its big whale mouth could open up and there's a big drill in there, but don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, good thing I shot it.
Man, I kind of want to make the next start just a second Leviathan. Coming up from the other side, and it's just like, haha, there were 2 of them.
I can't imagine there would be more than one because it is a big battle.
Yeah.
Riley, I just want to check this. Holy Wrath can only be spent on my turn, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You has the Holy Wrath.
You do have 2 Holy Wrath.
I know, that's what I was
Huntsman said you
realizing.
do
I'm
have
like,
2.
2 more rounds about, so I should spend both my Holy Wrath and don't take any more help from anyone else.
Yeah.
That's a good plan.
I'll just be giving help. I'll be giving help because I have Righteous Fury to
Yeah.
spare, so.
We do not have much.
Yeah, I'll just be spending all my Righteous Fury on you guys now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to strategize here.
I was gonna say, Riley, look, we're strategizing for
I'm so
once.
proud of you for like the first time since starting Mark Experience. I'm kidding.
That's true, though.
I mean, like,
Even when we try to in the other seasons.
yeah, this is for once, like, actually going well.
All right, what's the
Okay.
next one? What we got?
Dude, Oh, shoot! Okay.
Oh, no.
Shots ring out across the battlefield, and several other, like, smaller mechs just explode. And wind carries across the planet and blows up a cloud of dust, and stepping out of the cloud of dust is the Dust Minister. This mech is not a disciple. It is bigger than most of the disciples, actually. It is made out of this old, rusted, weathered gray metal. It's huge. It is a Capricorn mech. Its head is just a turret, and it has 4 arms, one on each compass direction of its torso.
Mm.
Each arm is holding like a hand cannon, like pistol, like a 6-shooter, like old Western style, like sheriff's firearm.
Oh.
But they're massive, and then made even more cannon-like. And it has 4 of them, and its torso is just spinning as it just slowly takes aim with each of these pistols and fires off, and then its turret head is also slowly turning different directions and firing off. We get a shot inside of the Dust Minister, and it is piloted by a really old, elderly Capricorn.
It's the Mandalorian battle bot, or bounty bot.
Yeah.
Kind of. He is massive. He is huge, even by Capricorn standards. Barrel-chested. His skin is like really gray and brown. He's so wrinkly. Capricorn are already wrinkly, but then he got old. And so
Oh.
he looks like his skin is made out of like really like coffee stained wrinkled towels almost.
Oh no.
And his eyes are like kind of cloudy. This is the adherent. He is a Capricorn whose religious order died out. And so was forced to his faith has a lot of complicated things in it, which I will love to get into later. But basically, his religious order died out, and the remaining the remaining members of the sect were subsumed into the Church of a Million Lights.
Oh no.
It's a big cowboy mech.
Of course it is. Kilson?
Okay, can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
What?
It's wearing a trench coat. There's no
Oh
reason for it to wear a
my
trench coat, but it's
gosh.
it's
Oh,
a
God.
mech wearing a big trench coat, like made out of tarp.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I mean, okay, this round has just been Reese, so it's either me or
Mhm.
Jamie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
We have 4 more to go.
yeah, okay. We could do, me, Jamie, Reese, and then me again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think
Or
that's a good
ye-
plan.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, alright. Judge is gonna take this one up.
Eee.
I think she's gonna kind of do the same, dodging, trick, I suppose, is what it is.
Yeah, the scrolls are hard to shoot. And this mech is designed for very specific, like, trained shot. It's not, like, good for taking, like, pot shots or spraying bullets or anything like that.
Yeah. And with that, she's going to use that to her advantage to get closer, to... Yeah, I think she's gonna actually just try and wrestle the mech down with the staff. Which is gonna be weird because it's such a large mech.
And it has so
So
many
maybe-
arms.
Yeah, maybe that's not the better idea. Maybe just
Yeah.
getting close. Oh, I know what it is. She's gonna get in close so that she's inside of the range of the arms and fire from there, so that it would be kind of
Fair.
awkward trying to fire at itself.
That is true.
As you're closing in distance, one of the guns runs out of ammo, so the mech just tosses it to a side, and the gun just, like, squashes a person.
Oh
Oh no.
It
Wow,
reaches into
rude.
its trench coat, and it pulls out of a holster another big gun.
Of course. It's got a gun factory in its chest, like,
Yeah.
just constantly pumping out new guns. I'm gonna roll.
Okay.
Sure, go
Yeah.
for it, Doug.
And
I
for-
got a 1. I'm gonna spend a holy wrath.
Fair.
Ooh, what manuscript do you activate?
I'm gonna use... Okay, so a little recap. The manuscripts that the one who judges with mercy has are written on various scrolls. So, the one I'm going to use is I'm gonna use a scroll that restrains an enemy.
Ooh.
Ooh. What does that look like?
So, it's actually like, the scroll itself is pretty much the same as the other ones, but it comes to the front and center, and it covers, like, it covers Judge's face like a mask,
Ooh.
like those paper sheets on the Japanese demons.
Oh, and the letters are starting to glow.
Yes. And Judge holds out her staff, but instead of a straight beam of light, a new beam of light comes out, and this one twists around
Ooh.
into strands. And it creates these binds around the Capricorn mech.
The Dust Minister is, like, completely restrained. It cannot move. Like, no amount of its joints can even, like, budge. It is entirely paralyzed. the head and chest like open up and separate, and the adherent crawls out and stands on the shoulder of the mech, looking across at Kilson and the judge, and he like gives like a respecting nod, and then he leaps off the mech and hits the ground,
I support this flag.
and he like starts to hobble. He starts to hobble towards the town.
Thanks for not being a dick.
Yep. And because she is the one who judges with mercy, she will let him go, but she's gonna get the mech.
He pulls out like an old drinking flask, like one would see in a thing, but because Capricorn don't drink like that, like when he twists the cap, it releases a spray of gas,
spray.
which then his weird nose mouth inhales.
He's vaping.
Yes!
Yeah, like the drinking flask releases this like colored smoke into the air, which he inhales, and then like
They literally
screws
just
the
He's
thing
literally
shut.
vaping, Riley.
And he tucks his drinking flask back into one of his like gun holsters, and he kind of like walks into town.
Out to get, just gonna go chill, hang out.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, why
eh,
not?
I
Alright,
thought
it's my
I
turn
lost.
now.
He's a Capricorn. This isn't really his fight to be fighting.
He
Yeah,
doesn't even
exactly.
like these people, to be honest.
He was doing it because it was his job, but
Three more. I'm so hyped.
Yeah.
I know. 3 more. We're so close.
We're almost done. Come on, it's my turn. What am I up against?
You see a group of scabs, like a small group of 5 scabs making their way across the battlefield. They have a variety of different weapons. They are all gray with the sea blue like highlights and stripes painted on. And we get a shot of inside of these scab model mechs. The scab is short for scabbard. It is the basic model of mech used by the Fortuitous Eco Block. They're called scabbards because Orion had this like PR meeting where they're like, mechs aren't the real weapons. They are simply a scabbard where the real weapon goes. Pilots are what's important. That's because they don't have good mechs.
Ouch.
The scab is a perfectly fine mech. It's just like the most basic model, like standard thing. I have a couple of drawings of it. It looks a little bit like Bastion from Overwatch, but if Bastion from Overwatch was a mech and had wings. Not angel wings like the other ones we have described up to this point, but like airplane, like fighter jet wings. We get a shot of inside each of these scabs. The pilot is the same.
Oh.
It is a young boy with light tousled white hair and these pink eyes in a mech plug suit, and they all share the same name. Their name is Alembic, and then for a last name they just have like 5, 7, 8, 32.
Why'd you make her homunculus? That makes me sad.
A long time ago, there was a great war hero, whose name was Alembic. He flew a scab that one of the first scabs that was named the King Albatross, and he was this war hero that saved the Fortuitous Eco Block in like one of its wars and one of its most desperate hours. He was basically the protagonist of a mech anime that happened before Bypass System. Anyway, the Fortuitous Eco Block liked him so much and believed that he was so wonderful and good that when he died, they used his DNA to create basically an army of super soldiers.
Did he give his consent?
No.
Okay.
He died.
He fought for freedom and independence and for the
This
Fortuitous
isn't
Eco Block
freedom and independence. They didn't ask
not
his
working
permission.
everyone to death. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't ask his fudging permission. That's just creepy and gross
Well.
and rude.
Ugh.
And all of the scabs have names that are related to the King Albatross, which was like his legendary mech. So like one is like the Prince Seabird, like the Rook of
They
the
just
Ocean.
pulled out a thesaurus for this one.
They're all yes, they are all wordplay on the King Albatross. And that is the current threat, is this group of Alembic clones.
Did you roll? Or
Let me roll.
Roll.
I am ready to spend if needed.
Yeah, please.
Done and go.
What'd you
What
get?
is it?
So I got a 4. And I have 2
She
Righteous
can't
Fury.
Okay,
Oh,
if you
God.
spend
Spend
that
more
2,
than-
your character will die.
No!
We can take one more fail.
We can take one more. Come on, we are doing really
And
well.
Reese has enough to get up from,
Yeah,
like, a pretty low number.
Yeah, I have enough that if I get a fail, I can go up. So don't you fucking dare.
Let's take this fail, Jamie.
Okay.
Just take it.
Okay.
This is 2 of 3.
We're at 2 out of 3 failures and 7. No, that's not right.
No,
8
it's 7 out.
successes, right?
No, it's 7 out
It's
of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
They are the like clones of a legendary war hero and mech anime protagonist. They make short and quick work out of basically anyone that isn't in a disciple. Also, this is the part where they reveal why they're called the albatrosses. Their wings extend and their boosters like widen to reveal that they have been made for flight and maneuverability. And they all just get into this brutal swarming fight with the Merry Median and our head priest, Mother Equinox.
Okay. No more fails.
We need 3 more successes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going. So what's the next threat?
Boy. Let me see.
Wait, is this the start of a new round?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
That's why I said I'm going next, because it was me, then you, then Jamie. So
Yeah, okay.
who am I hitting, Riley?
You see a person.
Yeah?
Just like a person. They're not in a mech. They're not wearing armor. They're not carrying a gun. They are dressed in this very fine white suit. Not a plug suit quite, but similar to like a priest outfit, I would say. And on their head, they are wearing this very ornate, like, star headdress that almost looks like a halo. And whenever they walk by someone, they stop shooting.
Oh.
They put down their gun,
Oh.
and they sit down quietly. This person is walking across the battlefield, and they're just leaving a trail of surrendering soldiers behind them. Their eyes are covered, but you see they have a small, gentle smile on their face. And they stretch out their hands, which have star tattoos on them. Like light is streaming off of their body.
Ooh, okay.
Is the name Serenity?
I know.
No, this is just like I said, the Church of a Million Lights discovered like space magic, which they claim they gained due to their religion. This is one of the practicers of their thing, which mostly involves being empaths and telepaths and being able to like convince people of things through like the force of like your mind and charisma.
My question, really, if this is a regular person, do you have to be in a mech?
No, you can get out of the mech and go fist fight this person if you want.
Hell yeah!
Don't think you want to get close to
But
them, though.
I would warn against getting close to them.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm going to roll because I have an idea for the level. Because I don't think that they don't have any, like, regular weapons, considering we have
Mhm.
fucking mechs. So, let's see what I get, if I need help or not.
I is ready to spend.
I actually got a 5, so I can spend that. So now I'm at
Cool.
a 3. Okay, so what I'm imagining is that Almatak gets out because she's not going. Her vow is compassion. She's not going to use her greater strength in the Huntress to fight someone who does not have a weapon. Like she's not going to use a fucking mech against.
Yeah,
Against
that'd
this
be
person.
real rude. Huh.
Yeah, and that's not who she is. But I imagine that I've established that she has these 3 thin silver bangles on each wrist. It's like a trait of hers. I imagine that they actually are kind of like how some of the mech has this mech type been like established yet, where it's like kind of a liquidy form.
Yes, those are incredibly rare. They are called the Mercury Oceania series, and
Yeah.
I don't think they have been invented yet.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's only 3 of them canonically.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure to establish that to alter it because it was like, oh, does this exist yet? But I imagine that those bangles are actually spinning like discs
Oh, cool.
that she keeps on a person. Like when they're not being used, they're not going to hurt anyone because they can also look like cute jewelry, but they can be used as like constraints because we got fucking magic mechs. We can have fucking shape-shifting bangles like
Yeah,
size.
for sure.
So she takes them she takes them off of her wrist. She takes at least one from each, and she throws them. And as she does, they expand around this person, and they wrap around their legs and their torso, so they are unable to continue moving forward. And they fall back.
This person is like hobbling and hopping forward, and they smile and they start calling out, "Every sun will have its zenith. Every sun will have its zenith. Every sun will have its zenith."
She would definitely throw one around its mouth, just shut up. Like, as it keeps repeating, she just gets another one off her wrist and throws it around their mouth. It's like, and she goes, just shut up.
Yeah, they like flop over, and they're like, they're wiggling and writhing.
I know. And she just takes a deep breath and just pulls her hair back a bit off of her shoulders, and I would say she climbs back into the Huntress.
I think with that person being like basically trussed up, the people that had been surrendering like start to like blink their eyes, shake their heads, and start grabbing weapons again and getting up. Okay.
8 out of 10.
That brings us to 8 out of 10.
So close.
We're so
close. You just need 2 more successes, but 1 more failure will do you in.
We're not gonna let that
We're not
happen.
gonna fail.
Fair.
No bad
worry about
vibes.
Okay. The temperature drops rapidly.
Oh no.
And frost begins to form on the burned grass and on the clothing of the people.
Oh no.
The frigid cold is here. The frigid cold is a faction within the Celestial Federation that specializes in terraforming planets. They made Gna habitable for them. The Celestial Federation prefers cold planets due to their religion and their beliefs. They look for like colder or more like northern climate places, and if they can't find it, they make a place like it. And the people that terraform planets for them is this squadron of mechs called the Frigid Cold. They are not in disciples, but they're in these large mechs that are like ice blue, but also covered in frost. They have these big packs that is just like dropping snow out behind them as they fly across the sky, and they are holding weapons that are like made out of ice. They have these big axes and maces, and spears that are just basically like ice sculptures that are too cold to shatter. And as they sweep in, a blizzard follows behind them.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Judge sees this coming, and she gets up in front of them, and she lifts her staff up in the air, like Abraham with the Red Sea.
Oh my god.
It's
And
Moses. Moses.
The eye at the top just starts to glow, and it starts to glow brighter and warmer,
Ooh.
and it just casts this warmth over them.
I will say it is Moses, not Abraham.
You're right. I'm a dummy. Anyways.
Roll for it, Doug.
Yeah. And if it doesn't really matter because I'm probably... Oh, I got a 6 anyways.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
I was gonna spend a Holy Wrath and use my scroll that blinds evil with the light, but okay, whatever. I got a 6.
We don't gotta worry about that. You don't gotta worry about that.
Describe destroying this squadron of mechs.
Yeah. I imagine as she sends this light towards them, it actually just starts to heat their systems up and overheat their systems beyond what they're capable of handling with. So they just they either have to stop or they'll end up malfunctioning.
Can I mention something?
Yes.
We get shots inside of the pilot cockpits, inside of the frigid cold mechs, and like the people inside are also like their skin has like bits of frost on it. There's like a tinge of blue to their skin. Their hair is like they have to wipe a light layer of ice off of their monitors. When they breathe, like the heat of their breath makes that cloud in the air, as like it is freezing cold inside of their mechs, like beyond cold.
So
Are they okay?
No, they're not. A majority of them keep pushing, and their packs explode, and they spiral and crash into the ground, or their mechs explode, or they can't do it, and they get like shot down by the judge. A few peel away and spiral off into the sky. The blizzard hits, but only for a minute or so before it dissipates. Without them here to maintain it, it goes away.
hell yeah. One more.
One more, Jamie, it's on you.
Oh boy.
I'm helping. I am helping.
Okay.
I can help too. I've got one more than you, Reese.
Only one person can help.
And,
No, I'm saying instead of Reese, I can help.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, Reese isn't gonna be rolling anyway after this.
Yeah.
So you're helping then, Rowan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I would like Reese to help for a scene in case I have to do a thing.
in case.
Okay, no matter what, this is the final thing that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
'Cause
This is the 50-50.
so can it be me, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank
If your
God.
character fits better, like...
Well, there's a scene and I'm not ready. Okay,
Maybe a scene. Maybe.
maybe.
There is a blinding flash of light, like too bright, as it was like dawn before, but now it seems like it is like midday. Light is like across the entire now like frostbitten fields, and there are 7 disciples floating in the air, surrounding what appears to be a small sun. These are what was mentioned at the very beginning of the game by Heavenly Mercy. I really hope I mentioned them at the beginning of the game. I was trying to foreshadow them showing up. These are the Exalted Virtues. They are the most powerful faction in the Celestial Federation.
I remember these motherfuckers.
They, to read their bio, A wing of the church focused on internal affairs. They are the sword of Damocles that hovers above every seat of power in the Federation. They maintain the image and morals of the church on every Federation world by any means necessary, and their blinding light is feared throughout the universe. They are each in these, like, just gorgeous, like, blinding disciples that are all, like, patterned off different angels. I'm not gonna go into describing them all. But here they are.
And they're about to sunburst us.
It's up to the Guardian.
Come on. Please don't.
Okay, so Reese gave me a thing.
I gave you an extra dice, and I'm really...
And,
Oh no!
so
Jamie.
I have 4 Righteous Fury, and I rolled a 1 and a 2.
2.
So you can win this challenge, but to win,
You
Brother
have
Light
to sacrifice
runs out
yourself.
of your Righteous Fury. So you have to sacrifice yourself, which is honestly the true ending of this, if we're being honest. This is the most bypass system. Like, this is the most
Like,
actual.
Yeah.
Can I say that I saw this coming from the start of the battle? That I figured Jamie would have to die?
Yeah!
We did too!
Oh, so
We're... time to heart wrench!
I would like to read this bit of the rulebook.
okay.
Yes.
Overcome by despair. If a cleric's righteous fury ever hits 0, they are overcome by despair. Give them a choice. Either they sacrifice their life in a blaze of glory to succeed at the current challenge, or they fall away and make their new life in sorrowful exile. If a cleric sacrifices their life in a blaze of glory, all other clerics that witness the incident gain +2 righteous fury.
We already know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. So, Brother Light looks at this whole scene, and it's 7 against 4. We're already so beaten up, and our ranks are falling apart. And he just, in a last moment of, I'm going to do this for everyone, him and the Guardian of Serenity just fly forward in a streak of light, and the Guardian of Serenity shoots a bunch of the chains into the 7 mechs, or around them, and just tries to grab as many as he can, as he just flies straight past them into the ball of light, dragging them behind him. And he is suicide bombing that light.
It's funny. Some are caught by the feather harpoons. Some dodge them, but, like, grab onto the chain and like, in the thought of that they will then use it to reel, but then they are tugged in. I think there's about, like... I think you take out a majority of them there. There's about 3 that are left untouched that manage to, like, dodge and watch as you, like, drag their members into what is basically a small Dyson sphere, and are consumed by this blazing, small, artificial sun.
I would like to take a moment in the memory of Brother Light of the Galaxies to point out that they saved every single one of their affairs of the heart.
Yes.
And then they've saved us.
I know.
And if I would be allowed to, I would like to have a small anime scene.
Do it.
Of course you can have a small anime scene. This is bypass system, my guy. Oh, I'm so sad.
In this explosion of light, just like the remains of the Guardian of Serenity, it's just the single orb, like the force field that is supposed to protect Brother Light usually is, like, disintegrating and falling apart, and the wings have lost basically all their feathers, and the chains are just, like, shattered and not even connected to the wings anymore. They're just straining behind it as it crashes down to the ground. And Altenac, beloved by the moons above.
She rushes over, and because she knows that Brother Light might still be in there, and she can't leave him, and she rushes over, and she drops her knees and cradles his head in her lap. She's just trying not to cry. She's just going, come on, Brother Light, come on. Don't you do this, no.
Brother Light slowly opens his eyes, and he is not looking good. He is burnt everywhere. Like, you can see through burned flesh and see his bones all over his body. And his gorgeous fluffy white hair is basically gone. And he smiles up at you and shakily raises a hand to place it on your cheek, and he uses a thumb to wipe away a tear. And he says, "Do not cry for me. Your story is not finished. You have a fight to finish. Go on, my beloved." And his hand drops to the ground.
I'm actually crying. Beloved just sobs for a moment as it drops, and she clutches at the hand, trying in vain. She knows, but she can't, and tears streaming. And there's a moment she's just crying, but then she gently places his hand over his chest and gently lets his head fall to the ground as she stands up. And she feels the righteous fury build up in her as she looks at them. She looks up at the remaining, and she walks back towards Kilson, the judge, and Huntress. And nope.
Reese, do you need a moment?
In character, I'm just upset.
Righteous fury, my man.
And she, with tears still streaming down her face, she goes, we need to win. For Brother Lin. And she climbs back into the Huntress.
And you do. The exalted virtues are like the utmost authority available to the Celestial Federation. And over half of their numbers have been decimated. They stay and fight for a moment, and while the exalted virtues suffer no more casualties, it is clear which way the fight is going. By the end of the day, the Halfast farming colony stays standing. And their just cause is heard throughout the Celestial Federation and throughout the Paramore system. People in Eurasia, the Fortuitous Eco-Block, the Scoundrel Armada, everywhere, they celebrate the victory of the Halfast farming colony. Soon, at the behest of the remaining exalted virtues, who argue that the farming colony's valor in battle and the strength of their connections and sacrifice are more than enough to earn them a spot back in the Celestial Federation as a shining star in the crown of the Church of a Million Lights. And so the farming colony is reinstated, and its demands, while not immediately met, are accepted and brought into a court of law inside the Federation. A statue is made of Brother Light of the Galaxies and the Guardian, which is erected in Halphus, which is soon terraformed by the remaining members of the Frigid Cold back to its original self. We get a shot of Brother Kilson and Amity planting a fig tree, and we get a shot of a mural being painted and placed back in the church. Mother Equinox's message is heard, and soon a reform begins to spread throughout the church, working hand in hand, though not always with, the exalted virtues. The two groups fight nearly constantly, but they both want the best for their faith and their flock. Soon the Pontifex is removed, and changes, while slow and not easy, begin to sweep throughout the stars of the Church of a Million Lights. When we started this game, I mentioned that if in the future, if we ever do a bypass system season and in all of the future one-offs, I've mapped out all the different factions, and currently I had the Equinox Reformation as a tier 1 out of 5 faction inside of the Celestial Federation, but I am raising it by 3 because you have 3 surviving members of the church of your Reformation, which moves it all the way up to a tier 4 out of 5 faction, putting it as just as powerful as the Exalted Virtues.
Who went down by 4.
Guys, I ended on 69 health.
Fantastic.
I have 609 registry.
We're gonna end the game with one last question.
Mm-hmm.
What is one change to the Church of a Million Lights' religion that each of you would like to have seen done? What does Crusader of Truth Kilsin want changed in their faith? What is a practice that is added or removed in their religion?
Oh, I don't know if I know enough about.
It can be as simple as in stating, like, it is, there's a new holiday, to that, like, they change who gets to be Pontifex, like, who gets to be Space Pope. Like, whatever you want to, like, whatever you want to add to this religion as flavor or rule, like.
Okay. Give me a moment to think about this. Goodness, you just
No problem.
threw this question at us.
Reese, do you have an idea of what Beloved would like to see changed in the religion?
One of the things that Beloved truly cared for was always helping with both with nature. That was one of her things, compassion, not just for people, for nature, and another. And then with that, there was also the protection of the people, and she thinks that, I genuinely think that it would be established that there should be no war within the own religion, like no infighting there that will harm civilians, that will harm planets. They have to be able to talk things out because they are supposed to be building connections. They are supposed to be helping people, and connections are their most important thing. And as this war has torn their homes apart and killed off people they love, that goes almost directly against what their religion is. It will protect its people if need be, which is why the mechs will still be standing, but it is never going to aim its guns at its own people.
Mother Almeria Equinox does not live long enough to become the Pontifex. A few years later, she passes away, happy and fulfilled, the head of the Equinox Reformation. She spent her life pushing for a better world where everyone is treated with respect and love. And she dies on her deathbed, leaving the Reformation in the hands of Kilson, Beloved, and their disciples, the one who judges with mercy, and the huntress of the wicked. The Merry Median is posted outside of her grave, where he remains resolute, a monument to everything that she accomplished in her life, and that anyone has the ability to take up arms against an unjust oppressor and make a difference. Jamie,
Yeah.
what is the one thing that Brother Light of the Galaxies wanted to see changed in the Church of a Million Lights?
I think going along with like the affairs of the heart that he had, I think you got like if you guys were to think about it, like your characters were to think about it of what he would have wanted after his death, it would be the protection and care of those who can't protect and care for themselves. Like he would want children and the sick and the elderly to be cared for without having to like, oh, does your family have money? Uh-oh, you don't? Too bad. He would just, no matter what, they don't deserve to not be cared for. So he would want something to be set up for that.
Sure.
I thought of something for Kilson.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
This actually goes more with Kilson's disciple, because I mean, this didn't really come off in such a short game.
Yeah.
But the thing between Kilson and the one who judges with mercy is they balance each other out.
Mm-hmm.
One is like the final judgment of death, and the other is like judge nicer. I think
good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, and I think what they would want is Kilson would see like they fulfilled their role by doing what was necessary to protect this colony, but if the religion had judged with mercy in the first place, it wouldn't be necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what they want. For the judgments and any sort of like decision that they make to be done with mercy.
Okay.
I
And
think.
then-
Oh, is there?
I was going to ask for like I had an idea for a closing scene, but
I have a closing scene. Could you really quick tell me what you'd like to have done?
it was just like kind of where they are like further down the line, and I just imagine
Yeah.
that with On Attack, she has a garden around that pool, that mirror
Aw,
pond,
the mirror
And-
pond.
and she helps raise children and all that. She just stays and around that garden with her golden deer foxes and the children, and helping children give homes and teaching them about loving nature and each other, kind of like a school.
That's very good. In the future, the Equinox Reformation is led by a quartet, 2 priests and their 2 disciples. And hopefully we get to see this faction in the future and how they try and make the world a better place. And so we end with that, of Kilson, the one who judges with mercy, beloved and the huntress of the wicked, inheriting this reformation and leading it to glory after the death of Almeria. And as we fade out, we see the wreckage of what was once a marble white lion with brilliant blue wings. Its head has been destroyed, its chest has been carved open, and it's missing an arm and a leg. It is floating through the void of space. And suddenly, feet in a spacesuit land on it. And we see a small pirate, a very young pirate, like a child in a spacesuit. And a smile spreads across his face as he lands on this wreckage. And he kneels down and he brusts something off of the eye. A light flickers inside of it, and it slowly turns on. The boy's smile grows wider. He can hardly believe his luck. It still works.
Hey Mark Experience listeners, it's end credits time. I know you love hearing this part, but I like to remind you guys that you can find us on Tumblr, Instagram, and even TikTok. And if you like to buy the music, you can buy it all at markexperience.bandcamp.com. We also have a constantly growing collection of merch at redbubble.com/people/mark-experience, where you can buy posters and shirts and stickers and all that. If you want to support your favorite editor and musician, you can head over to my Ko-fi account at ko-fi.com/JamieRemy. That's spelled JAMIEREMY. Mark Experience can be located basically anywhere podcasts exist now, so you can listen wherever's easiest. See you next episode!